the creation of Adam and Eve. And then God said, "Let there be light," and it was good. And then God said, "Let there be an expanse," and it was good. And then God said, and then God said, and it was good, and it was good. And then God said, it was not good. God created the animals 2 by 2, and then he created man. But why didn't he create Adam and Eve at the same time? Didn't he know that Adam was going to need a mate? Didn't he know that Adam would be lonely? Of course he did. So what was part of the plan? While it's not always obvious to us, why God? Why God does things? Why do you do this? Why you do that? It is clear that God always has a plan. So, God creates Adam before he creates Eve. I believe first, God is establishing a creation order. Notice that God creates Adam and then Eve second. Adam is given the task of tending the garden. He's given the commands and tasks to follow the mission that God has given him. And then you'll also notice in verse 16 and 17, God charges Adam with not eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But why didn't he wait? Didn't he know that Eve was going to need those commands as well? Of course he did. But it was Adam's responsibility to relay that message to Eve. It was Adam who was given charge over the garden first. And he was going to be the one who was going to need to make sure that the rest of mankind understood what the commands were straight from God. So, God created them apart for another reason, I believe. If God had created them together, Adam may have taken Eve for granted. He was created with all of these incredible capacities for work. And his abilities to do the things in the garden and to work were simply going to be incredible. And he was going to be very capable and able to accomplish many things. But he wasn't going to know right away about a major piece that was going to be missing in his life if God hadn't done this first. Adam might have thought that he didn't need Eve, and maybe he would have treated her with some neglect. Since God left him alone, Adam experienced a lack in himself. Something was missing in his life. God wanted Adam to experience that feeling. Adam needed to have a longing in his soul for something more. From this point on, Adam would remember what it was like to be alone, and he would remember that he was not an island, that he was not ever created to be an island. He needed a helper. Adam would cherish and love his wife, knowing, not only intellectually, but knowing in his soul that she completed him. So, God calls on Adam to name each of the animals. And Adam begins as God parades them one by one in front of Adam, or perhaps he does it intentionally, brings them 2 by 2. Adam begins to name the animals, each one after their own kind. He establishes the types of animals that they were. And after he finished naming the animals, Adam knew that he was, in fact, alone. No other animal was like him. God puts Adam to sleep, and out of his side, he makes another like Adam, but distinct. Matthew Henry said, that the woman was made out of a rib out of the side of Adam, not made out of his head to rule over him, nor made out of his feet that to be trampled upon him, but out of his side to be equal with him, under his arm to be protected, and near his heart to be beloved. And so Adam awakes, and probably like a child on Christmas morning, he sees what God has done, and he exclaims in his excitement, "At last! This is flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone." And so he calls her woman, showing her equality with Adam as humans. Yet he calls her woman, showing her distinction from himself. They were man and woman, Ish and Isha, who would rule over and have dominion over the earth and the animals. Mankind was now complete. They were meant to take over the world together. What could go wrong?